It's a 69 Mustang Mach 1. Just got in. Gonna strip the outside and do a paint job. A little bit of repairs here and there. But the car is immaculate. I mean, there's like literally, I can't find any rust anywhere. So it's going to be a really nice project. There's some surface imperfections and looks like it's been painted once before, maybe to correct something. But it's really, I mean, it's amazing. I've never seen anything this clean, especially a Mustang. So, gonna tear all the panels off it and not touching inside. Headliner's still good. You know, tape that off. Make sure it's all kept clean. Underneath, tape that all off. Not touching the engine compartment. Not even where the battery goes is there any rust. So it's just strictly an exterior strip and paint and fix a couple of little imperfections. So this is going to be a real nice project. They already started taking some of the panels off. Hood, I mean, you know, it must have been in conditioned storage its entire life. So I'm pretty impressed. So this will be the next project for a little while, and then I'll get back on my truck. making pretty good progress on the 69 Mach 1. The body's been stripped pretty much all the way. Got a couple little tiny pinholes to repair on the tail panel. Nothing significant. I mean, it's really solid. I can't find any rust or damage anywhere. There's of significance anyway. I mean, there's a little crease right here. And of course that area still needs a little attention, but there's no dents in the roof. There's one little spot right here, which is weird because it kind of had the factory paint over it, so it must have maybe happened at the factory, who knows. But all the panels are pretty much stripped and sanded. The doors are ready for paint or for epoxy. The hood's ready. I mean, there's no rust really anywhere. I mean, I've never seen a hood this good. It's like perfect. Fenders are in awesome shape. There's a couple of little tiny ding dents, but they're all sanded in 180, ready to go. I'll hang those up. Doing some small parts. Trunk lid sanded in 180, and I'm sorry, 80 grit. Everything's done in 80 grit. Trunk lid's done in 80 grit. These small pieces are just got stripped of the paint, and then they're going to be sanded, you know, cleaned up those little areas I couldn't get to. I'll have to go back in with a wire wheel and dig in some spots to get all the paint off. And then there's a splash pan that's already been stripped. I gotta check that out, see if there needs any work. And the end caps are fiberglass, so I gotta be really careful sanding them down. I might do those with an orbital or something, go real easy. So not much to video all this time. I've been just stripping and sanding, so that's kind of boring. Doesn't make for good videos. I did clean all the sealant off the backs of the doors and kind of wire brushed them so that there'll be at least a nice smooth finish. I mean, again, there's like no rust at the bottom of the doors. It's pretty amazing. There was a couple spots. I don't know where they were. I think right here and right there. It's pretty common on these right here. So I cut those sections out and welded in some patches. I cleaned them all up, put some, you know, put epoxy primer in there real thick, and then welded up some patches. In this corner, I mean, I tapped around with a pick hammer and it didn't dent or anything, and so that one I'm just gonna leave. But no, everything's in super shape, so it's not gonna need a lot of, hardly any body filler, hardly any high build primer. It's just, I like to keep it as minimal as possible. So that's where we're at. I do have to finish sanding the body. That's only been stripped, so it's got to be going over with 80 grit on a DA and get a nice and smooth crosshatch pattern for it. But it's coming out great. Everything's ready to paint. Epoxy primer on. All the pieces have been hung. Everything's been cleaned, wiped down twice. Waxy grease remover. So now I can just lay down a couple of good coats of epoxy on everything. These are fiberglass pieces, so I think the white's gel mold. So we'll just cover them with epoxy. But everything's ready to go. Did a couple repairs to the body. There's a couple dents. Some low spots down here. There's a dent right there. There's some low spots here where the panel had been repaired, so I used a stud gun and stud and pulled them out. So next time you see it, everything will be white, but it's just going to be epoxy. Got a couple coats of epoxy sprayed on it yesterday. It's been sitting for over 24 hours, and with the heat on, you can really start to see some of the blemishes pop out. Some little dents and dings stick out a little better now. But at least I don't have to worry about anything rusting. You can see like there's a couple dings right there. Somebody's gonna put a spoiler on it and didn't do it. So this will keep it all sealed up from having any rust issues from bare metal. But you can see some blemishes here and there, some dents and dings, but pretty easy body work. Nothing really severe. Still really super solid car. I mean, these are like perfect condition, with like little tiny imperfections on the edges. Yeah, like this one right here. Nothing severe. I mean, the roof's like almost perfect. That's where the brackets go for the rear window hatch. Rear window? I don't know. I guess they used to have those blinds here, but I don't know if this car has it or not. So, came up pretty good. Very nice.